Good day, sir. I am Joshua Valenzuela Kilar from the Base Scream for Charlie, and these are my discussions from the Rule 110 to Rule 126 Criminal Procedure. Rules in Criminal Procedure. Rule 110 Institution of Criminal Actions. Uh, Preliminary investigations requirements for the offenses punishable by more than 6 years and 1 day. A preliminary investigation is required before filing a complaint or informations. But there are exemptions for these rules. Uh, for offense punishable by 6 years and 1 day or less, the complaint or information may be filed directly to the Municipal Trial Court or MTC or the Municipal Circuit Trial Court. But in Metro Manila and charter cities, the complaints or informations must be uh, filed with the Office of the Prosecutor. There are there is a general rules or requirements of complaints or informations. It must be in writing. It must be the name of plaintiff in the name of the people of the Philippines, uh, against responsible persons, against all persons appearing responsible for the offense. The the complaint is a sworn or written statement charging a person with an offense, subscribed by the offended party, uh, peace officer, or public officer. Then the information is an accusation in writing, charging a person with offense, subscribed by the offended party, as subscribed by the prosecutor, and filed with the court. The prosecution in public prosecutor, it shall be prosecute criminal actions. Then in private prosecutor, may prosecute with written authorization from the uh, chief prosecutor and court approval except for private crimes like the adultery and concubinage. Rule 111, prosecution of civil actions. So according to the section 1 of this rule, the criminal action is instituted, the civil liability shall be deemed instituted. That is the general rule, but there is an exemptions. First, when the offended party waives its civil actions. Second is when the offended party reserves the right to institute it separately. Always remember that the reservation shall be made before the prosecution starts presenting its evidences. And third is institutes the civil actions prior to the criminal actions. But always remember that the primacy of criminal actions over civil actions, uh, that even civil actions is instituted first, then the criminal actions, the civil actions shall be suspended until final judgment is rendered in criminal actions. In exchange of that situation, when criminal action is instituted first, then the civil action, still the civil action is suspended until final judgment is rendered to the criminal actions. Next rule is Rule 112, the preliminary investigations. So according to the section 1 of this rule, preliminary investigation is an inquiry or proceeding to determine whether there is a probable cause that the crime has been committed. And preliminary investigation is required to be conducted before the filing the complaint or informations for the offense where the the penalty prescribed by law is at least 6 years and 1 day imprisonment. So the officers allowed to conduct preliminary investigations are the provincial or city prosecutors and their assistants, national and regional states prosecutors, uh, and other officers as may be authorized by law, such as the COMELEC and the Ombudsman. Then let's go to the Rule 113, the arrest. In Section 1 of this rule, the arrest is taking a person in custody in order that he may bound to answer for the commission of an offense. So it is made by the actual restraints of a person to be arrested, or by his admission to the custody of the person making the arrest. It shall be the duty of the uh, officer executing the warrant to arrest the accused and to deliver him to the nearest police station or the nearest jail without unnecessary delay. In Section 4 of this Rule 113, the warrant to be executed within 10 days from its receipt. Then within 10 days after the expiration of the period, the officer shall make a report to the judge, and in the case of his failure to execute the warrant, he shall state the reason of this late of the execution of the warrant. Then in Section 5 of Rule 113, a peace officer or private person allows to arrest a person without a warrant when it is caught on the act or in flagrante delicto, personal knowledge or hot pursuit. Third is escape prisoner. An arrest may be made on any day or any night, any time or any day, any time, any day or any night. And in Section 11, police officer must identify themselves and they announce their purpose before using the force to enter or apply first the brake and announce doctrine. Then the Rule 114 is bail. Section 1 of this rule is bail is a security given to for a temporary release of a person in custody of the law, furnished by the bondsman to guarantee his appearance before the court. Bail is given in a form of corporate surety, property, cash, deposit, or recognizance. All persons having an offense can avail bail except for those who charged with the offense punishable by the LDR or death penalty, the reclusion perpetua, or life imprisonment or reclusion perpetua. Then, bail is a matter of right when before or after the conviction of by the MTC, Metropolitan Trial Court, the Municipal Circuit Trial Court, and before conviction by the Regional Trial Court of an offense not punishable by the LDR. Then the bail is a matter of discretion when upon the conviction of by the Regional Trial Court of an offense but not punishable by the LDR, and also punishable by LDR if the evidence is of the guilt is strong. Let's go to the Rule 115. The rights of the accused. So, the accused in criminal prosecutions have several rights, including the presumptions of innocence, right to be informed of the nature of the nature and the cause of accusations, the right to be present and defend themselves, right to waive their presence at trial unless specifically ordered by the court. Then the accused can testify as on witness on his own behalf. Then they can confront and cross-examine witness against them. A speedy, impartial, and public trial, and the accused can appeal in all cases, allow them in a manner prescribed by law. Rule 116, arraignment and plea. According to the paragraph 1 of section 1 of this rule, the accused must be arraigned before the court when the complaint or information was filed for the design for trial. Then the arraignment shall be made in open court by the judge by giving them the accused with the copy of the complaint and information, reading it in the same dialect known by the accused, and asking him whether he pleads guilty or not guilty. And the accused answer is the plea. In second paragraph, stated that the accused must be present by the arraignment and must be personally enter his plea. So, in section 1 of this rule, if the accused refuses to plead, the plea of not guilty shall be entered for him. Then, when the accused pleads guilty but presents exculpatory evidence, his plea shall be deemed withdrawn and a plea not guilty shall be entered for him. Rule 117 is the motion to quash or the request for dismissal. In section 1 of this rule, the accused may move to quash the information or the complaint anytime before entering his plea. So, the motion to quash shall be in writing, signed by the accused or his counsel, and shall be distinctly specify its factual and legal grounds. Then, according to the section 3 of this rule, there are only 9 grounds that the accused may move to quash the complaint or information. First, that is the facts charged by do not constitute an offense. Second is the court trying the case has no jurisdiction over the person of the accused, that the court is trying the case has no jurisdiction over the persons of the accused, that the officer who filed the information has no authority to do so, that it does not confront substantially to prescribed form, the duplicity of an offense, that the criminal action or liability has been extinguished, that it contains averments which if true, it should be constituted a legal excuse or justification, and last, the double jeopardy. After entering the plea, the accused can still file a motion to quash in grounds A, B, G, I, or grounds 1, 2, 7, and 9. Rule 118, pre-trial. According to the section of this rule, the pre-trial is mandatory in all criminal cases. It is conducted to avoid the surprises. During the pre-trial, both parties will lay down the evidences to witnesses, because failure to present the on pre-trial, it could not be admitted during trial unless otherwise the the reasons for that is good cause. In this case, there is an object, it will be raised, and that is the reason why there is a pre-trial. In pre-trial, there will be a plea bargaining, stipulation of facts, marking for identification of evidence, waiver of objections to admissibility of evidence, and modification of the order of trial if the accused admits the charge. Then, all agreements or admissions made or entered during the pre-trial conference shall be reduced in writing, shall be signed by the accused and counsel. Otherwise, they cannot be used against the accused. The non-appearance of the accused and counsel, the court may impose proper sanctions or penalties. Rule 119, trial. So, according to this section 1 of this rule, the time to prepare trial is after a plea of not guilty is entered. And then, the accused shall have 15 days to prepare for trial. Then, the trial shall commence within 30 days from the receipt of the pre-trial order. Then on section 3, the period of delay shall be excluded in computing the time when delay resulting from other proceedings concerning the accused. Delay resulting from mental incompetence or physical inability of the accused to stand the trial, and if the information is dismissed upon motion of the prosecution, the the order trial, which first the prosecution shall present evidence to prove the charge, then then the accused and the defense present the rebuttal evidence, then it shall be deemed submitted for decisions. In 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 section 17, it is the charge of the accused to be stated witness happens when there is no stronger direct evidence. The prosecutor will select one of the suspects to be a witness, but he or she should not appear to be the most guilty. Then the more of evidence, it was after the prosecution rests its case. The court may dismiss the action of the ground of insufficiency of the evidences. Then in section 23, the demur of evidence, that is with leave of court or without leave of court, it was after the prosecution rests its case. The court may be dismiss the action of the ground of insufficiency of evidence. Then only the defendant can avail for this demur. Then in section 23, the demur of evidence, that is with leave of court or without leave of court, it was after the prosecution rests its case. The court may be dismiss the action of the ground of insufficiency of evidence. Then only the defendant can avail for this. Rule 120, judgment. So according to the section 1 of this rule, judgment is the adjudication by the court that the accused is guilty or not guilty of the offense charged, and the imposition on him of the proper penalty and civil liability. So in section I, in rule 121, the new trial or reconsideration. According to the rule, the time for new trial or reconsideration is any time before a judgment of conviction becomes final. So the grounds for new trial, first is the errors of law, and the second is the new material of evidence has been discovered. In rule 122 is the appeal. According to the section 1 of this rule, any party may appeal from the judgment or final order unless the accused will be placed in double jeopardy. It is when from first level court or MTC appeals on RTC. When from RTC appeals in court in Supreme Court. Rule 126, the seize and seizure. It is defined that the search warrant as an order in writing in the name of people of the Philippines, signed by judge and direct to the peace officer commanding him to search for a personal property described therein and bring it before the court. So the personal property to be seized according to the section are subjected for the offense embezzlement property, unused or intended to be used as the means of committing an offense. Then search warrant shall not issue except upon probable cause in connection with the specific offense to be determined personally by the judge. It should be found in section 4 of the rule 126. The police officer must identify themselves and announce their purpose before using force to enter. Apply first the break and announce doctrine. The warrant must be served in the day unless the affidavit indicates the property is on the person or place, in which case it can be served in in section 7 of this rule, police officer must identify themselves and announce their purpose before using the force to enter. Apply first the break and announce doctrine. Then the warrant must be served in the day unless the affidavit indicates the properties the person or on the person or the place, in which the case it can be served at any time of the day or night found in the section 9.